It's time for fantasy football semi-pros. Let's do it.
Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football Semi-Pros. I'm Brandon. With me again virtually is Ryan. Ryan, you enjoying the snow?
Yes, I wish it would snow more.
I agree.
I want all the snow.
I think I asked my Echo Dot like how much snow we're supposed to get, and it gave me a very precise answer of like 2.61 inches.
It's not out there right now. I can tell you that, right?
It's not snowing. Last I went out, I had my break about 6 o'clock, and we didn't even have an inch out there.
No, it's covered up my driveway, but it's not even it. You can barely see it on the grass.
Same. All right. Well, let's get to the ESPN Pick'em results. So, good news for you. You were in like a 4-way tie for the lead in our group this week at a 14-2 record.
Yeah.
Bringing your overall total to 173 and 82. And with the week to go, we'll see how that changes. But I'm guessing that you've won our league this year.
I could completely tank this week and somebody could just go crazy.
I doubt that happens. But
you never know.
And then I didn't fare as well. I went 12-4, which itself isn't bad. Bringing my overall record to 156 and 99. I wasn't trying to reach and just get some make up some ground, but it is what it is. As for DFS week 16, since we didn't get to review that last week, I won that week 202.9 to 118.58. I won the week overall for our group, but the big news, you won week 17 for our group. 148.5.
Yay! My first win. I got so lucky with the Rashad Penny and Devin Singletary plays.
Oh yeah, that Devin Singletary play. Jeez.
I don't know how I got so lucky with that one.
But I ended up scoring 138.06, which great news for us. We both have a 99 record, so it comes down to this week, which should be an interesting one.
Huh. Wait, we're tied again?
Yep, we're tied at 9-9.
Maybe I should go ahead and do that. I'm going to do it right now while we're talking.
Well, if you want, what we can do after you get your set, we can reveal our lineups, each position.
All right. Well, I'm going to go in now. Do you have yours already set?
I have a preliminary one set. Now, granted, these, especially this week, can change just because there's so much news coming out.
We don't know who's playing and who's not playing.
Actually, the first lineup I had set, I've already had to change because Deontay Johnson's tested positive for COVID and has been placed on the IR. Reserve COVID list, sorry.
Well, what you really got to do is play guys that are going to actually play because they have something to play for.
That's the question. Who is? And
I don't know.
Let's say,
the Colts have to win, right? To get into the playoffs.
Yes. Well, I think there's a scenario they can get if they lose, but let's say they get up big on the Jaguars. Do you start benching players?
I don't know, man. I mean, is Jordan Love playing and Aaron Rodgers isn't? I don't know.
Or Tennessee. Yeah, that's another one. Or Tennessee. If the Chiefs lose to the Broncos, how are they going to handle their whole situation? So everything's kind of up in the air there.
I think I'm going to play Heineke at quarterback.
All right. Well, if you're going with Heineke, as of right now, and I have this down to 2. Right now I have Case Keenum, but I may change that to Tyler Huntley and play with my whole roster. But as of right now, my lineup, I have Case Keenum.
The Saints out of it?
The Saints are not out of it.
Okay, so I'm going to play Kamara.
Okay. My first running back is Antonio Gibson.
Wait, how much is Taysom Hill?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
6,200. But I had Heineke, and Heineke's cheap for 5,400. I'm going to go with him.
Case Keenum's only 4,800.
And then go pick the last defense who's playing the Jets. Are they playing their guys? I don't know.
I would assume the Jets are. I usually just put my defense in there because I'm looking at most likely taking the cheapest option just to give me more room in a cash game lineup. And then I'll adjust from there. But we'll get to the defenses later.
Okay.
So Ryan, who's your second running back?
Jonathan Taylor for sure.
And it looks like ours is the same. We both have Jonathan Taylor there.
Man, I'm gonna be broke by the end of this. I gotta go really cheap on wide receiver. Well, I have to fill 4 more positions, and I only have 17,500 left.
All right. So who's your first wide receiver right now?
I just picked them. I think. I don't know. Hold on. Budget. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Interesting choice. My first wide receiver is AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. Good call. Good call. Yeah. My second wide receiver is Chase Claypool.
Interesting. I chose Christian Kirk.
And then my third wide I already forgot. I gotta go really cheap here. Oh, man.
Just like your dates.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm kidding.
My third wide receiver is Rashad Bateman. I went running back heavy here with 2 studs at running back.
My third receiver is Laquan Treadwell.
Who'd you do for tight end?
I went with Cameron Brate in my tight end spot.
I went with Cole Kmet.
All right. Your flex?
Well, I only have $4,100 left because I already picked my defense. And I don't think Ahmed, whoever that is, running back for the Dolphins, is going to have a good game. I don't think he's going to do well against that Patriots defense. So I think I'm going to go with A. Wesley, Arizona.
Interesting pick. He had 2 touchdowns last week, and he tends to get Hopkins' targets in that red zone area.
Yeah.
I went with Brandon Cooks. And then you said for defense, you had the Jets?
Yeah, let me go back and check.
Yeah, my defense.
No. Defense, I went with the Cardinals.
Okay. I went with the Washington football team against the Giants.
Good call.
So I'll post these or whatever changes we have.
Let me get that sent to you.
Well, don't worry about it right now because we may have changes. I won't post these till Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Be on the lookout on our social media sites. I'll have the link to join the contest against Ryan and I.
We're not doing a video, right? We're just doing the MP3 podcast.
No, it is a video. It's recording as a video.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you were posting it to YouTube or not.
Yeah, we're not recording live.
Right.
That's
cool.
all. All right. So before we'll get moving on to our week 18 preview. All right. So our first game, Saturday afternoon, Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs are 10-point favorites in this game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been ruled out for this game. As for the Broncos, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, they've both been limited so far this week. Drew Lock's been limited with the shoulder issue. Noah Fant limited. Teddy Bridgewater placed on the IR. But some good news for the Broncos. Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick have been removed from the reserve COVID list. Overall, I don't think I'm trusting any of these Broncos receivers. These Broncos receivers, they haven't been great this year, and with the exception of last week, the Chiefs defense has been pretty good as of late.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know that I want to trust any of these Chiefs running backs because the Broncos are actually pretty good against the run.
They're not bad.
So, I mean, I guess we're starting the usual suspects here. Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill. And I think the Bengals making an argument to actually be a starter.
Pringle? Yeah, he's played well the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not risking it in championship matchup, but someone to keep an eye on. If you're in a dynasty league, see if he's out there. I doubt he is, but there's always that chance. So, Ryan, who are you going to take for this game?
So I think even if Patrick Mahomes and the starters don't play, I still think Kansas City takes this game.
This is one where they're likely going to play because they are still playing for that first overall seed. Because if they win, the Titans lose, they get that first overall seed.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well, though. Our next game, the Saturday night game, Cowboys are 7-point road favorites against the Eagles. The Cowboys, I think, can improve their position. I don't think the Eagles can really do much here. As for the Cowboys, though, Tony Pollard limited with a foot injury. Blake Jarwin has been designated to return from the IR. They did officially place Gallup on the IR this week. As for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts was limited with the ankle issue. Sanders has been ruled out, so that's good news for Boston Scott, someone that we had on our waiver wire pickups, or Brandon's best bets, as you like to call it.
Yep.
Jordan Howard, Dallas Goedert, and Boston Scott, though, have been placed on the reserve COVID list. They could still come off in time, but it's going to be tough.
Gotcha.
Other than that, though, the Cowboys, their wide receivers have a tough matchup here. Darius Slay, last time these two played, I don't think he shadowed any of these receivers. But the Eagles allowed the second fewest fantasy points to wide receivers this season. And back in week 3, Lamb had 3 receptions for 66 yards, Cooper 3 for 26, and Wilson 2 for 17.
Damn.
So they haven't, I mean, they held them in check, and it could happen again. Thing is, when they held them in check, Dalton Schultz, he had a good game, 6 for 80 and 2 touchdowns. So he could be the benefactor of Gallup being hurt and this tough Eagles defense.
I mean, quite possibly, yes.
I mean, he's played well. The interesting thing is what's going to happen with Dalton Schultz after this year, because he's a free agent after this season. So, Ryan, what are your thoughts on this game?
After last week, Dallas played for maybe like 3 quarters, or not even that. They only played for like maybe a quarter and a half, and they still almost won. But I don't know where this Dallas team is, and I think the Eagles have an outside shot looking in the playoffs. And
the Eagles are in the playoffs.
I still think the Eagles take this, man. I think the Eagles take the home field advantage and use it in their favor and do pretty well.
Fair. I will say, I mean, being an Ezekiel Elliott manager this year has been super frustrating.
Yes.
But overall, he's still running back 2 on the year. It's hard to trust him, but if you have him, you probably don't have a better option to run out there this week. I am going to go ahead and take the Cowboys, though. They're still playing for something. I think they can move up in their seeding, so I'm going to go with them.
Okay. I mean, I respect that pick. I just don't know. It's just so hard to pick these games in week 18.
Oh, definitely.
18 ever. But yeah, I'm going Eagles, man.
All right. Our next game, we have the Packers, who are 4-point road favorites at the Lions, which is kind of surprising because we don't know what the Packers are going to do. Like they've said that Rodgers said he wants to play. Adams, I think, came out and said it's like we're going to play at least a little bit. So it's going to be interesting on how they handle this. Do they play a drive? Do they play a quarter? Do they play a half?
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know that I'm starting a Packer, except for maybe A.J. Dillon. I could see him getting quite a bit of run.
I think he will be the back that gets all the touches this week. Well,
yeah, you want to try to keep Jones healthy and get Dillon some more. He's looked good. Dillon's looked good this year, and maybe we'll see some Kyron Williams. As for the Lions, though, you got to think Dan Campbell, that team's not going to go out and just lay down and say our season's done. They're going to play to win this game. They're going to try to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So are you, I'm guessing based off of your DFS lineup, are you starting Amon-Ra?
Yes. Yes, you are starting Amon-Ra. I think most of the starters will play on defense just to kind of keep them in the, because they're
at least for a part of the game.
Yeah, they're going to have a week off. Because they have the number 1 seed locked in. So I think they're going to be fine, but I think you're going to play maybe a half. But, I mean, as of late, the month of December, Amon-Ra St. Brown lit it up fantasy football point-wise. So I'm definitely playing Amon-Ra St. Brown this week if I have him.
Yeah. And I do think he's been kind of quarterback-proof because he's done this with both Boyle and Goff.
Yeah, just wait until David Blau comes in. He's going to do it then, too.
I don't know that we'll see David Blau here, but anyways, who are you picking for this game?
I'm still taking the Packers. I think they sneak this out and they do pretty well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers as well. All right, our next game, we had the Bears at the Vikings. I think both teams have been eliminated from the playoffs. Matt Nagy came out yesterday, said Justin Fields is going to start this week. And then today he had to place him on the reserve COVID list due to a positive test. So I believe that means Andy Dalton will be starting. As for the Vikings, Mike Zimmer came out and said Cousins is going to start and play this week. Did you hear what he had to say about Kellen Mond, though?
No.
So reporters asked him, like, are you going to try to get Mond some playing time, see how he looks like? And his comment, straight face, I see plenty of him in practice.
Okay, good.
Other than this, I mean, you're playing Dalvin Cook, and he might see a lighter workload, and you might see more Madison. But you're playing Jefferson, and honestly, with Thielen out, do you think KJ Osborne's a good play?
Yes, he has been pretty reliable. Double-digit points the last three weeks. Maybe 4. So, yeah, I think he's reliable, but he's a flex option. He's definitely not a wide receiver 1 or 2. He's definitely a flex option in a deeper league play.
Mm-hmm. All right. And as for the Bears, I mean, you're trusting David Montgomery. You could possibly play Mooney, but I'm still not trusting Allen Robinson if he's out there.
No, not yet.
If Fields is active and playing, I think I would play Fields because this Vikings defense hasn't been very good as of late.
Nope.
So, Ryan, who are you taking to win this game?
I'm taking the Bears. I mean, they've won the last 2. They've won their last 2, and they've won them in pretty good fashion. So, I think they're trying to finish this season on a good note, and I think they take it to their division rival, the Vikings, and come away with a win here.
I've been back and forth on this one. Last week was like the first time that the Vikings haven't played a close game. But I think I end up settling on the Bears as well. All right, our next game, we had the Colts at the Jaguars. The Colts, this is it's a win and in situation. I think there are scenarios where they can get in if they lose, but
they need other people to lose, and you never want to leave it up to fate.
Not much on the news here on the injury front, other than O'Shaughnessy for the Jags. He didn't practice yesterday with a hip issue, which we could see Dan Arnold back this week.
DE. Dan Arnold. DA. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I was about to say DE.
Look, man, I was up until 4:30 last night, and the night before I was up past 4. I just can't sleep for some reason again. I think when I had COVID, I was just passed out the whole time, and now my body's like, dude, you have enough energy forever.
Fair. Well, I mean, other than this, I think the Jags, Vegas has their implied point total at 14 points for this week. The Colts are 15.5-point favorites.
That's insane, man. I think the Colts win this easy.
I agree.
I think Jonathan Taylor runs through, around, and over the Jags defense.
I agree with you there as well.
That's why we put them in our DFS.
All right, our next game, we had the Steelers at the Ravens. Ben Roethlisberger was in limited participant practice so far this week. But as we mentioned, Deontay Johnson was placed on the reserve COVID list.
Chase Claypool time.
Oh, yeah, and then Lamar Jackson, he hasn't practiced yet this week. So it is likely, I think, going to be Huntley at quarterback for the Ravens, which we've seen other than last week, he's performed really well.
Yeah, he's not been bad. I mean, he kept them close against the Packers, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he came in, was it the Browns?
Possibly.
Against the Browns, he played well then too, but he's been playing pretty solid.
Yep. So, I mean, you're going to start the normal Ravens pass catchers that you normally would. As for the Steelers, though, I think Freiermuth gets a bump with Deontay Johnson out. Last time he was out, Freiermuth had a really good game.
Yeah, and I think it also gives a bump to. I think it also gives a bump to Chase Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe James Washington in a really deep league.
For some reason, they don't like James Washington. I think they're more likely to target Ray McLeod.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
The Ravens, though, they've surrendered 50-plus fantasy points to opposing wide receivers in the last 3 games. Sorry, to wide receiver units, not just one receiver.
Right, we would have known about that.
And 2 of those were during their past 2 games. Baltimore has allowed the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers this season. They haven't been good against the pass. So I wouldn't be hesitant to start Claypool or Johnson if they're out there.
I mean, McLeod, he actually returns kicks too. So if you get points for kick returns and punt returns, go ahead. Throw him out there, man. Why not?
And this could be a bigger game for Najee as well.
Yeah.
So who are you taking in this game?
I'm still taking the Steelers. For some reason, man, these Ravens just ever since Lamar got hurt, they've just not been able to win games, which is cool with me.
Well, I think I saw last year, like the Ravens won like the most 1-score games in the league last year,
and now they've lost the most.
I don't know about that, but I think it's kind of starting to even out where they're losing more of those, and then they're also just getting blown out a couple times.
Yeah.
This is most like this. There's a very good chance this could be Ben Roethlisberger's last game, and I think he's going to go out slinging it. He threw. I think he was at halftime last week. He was on pace to throw 70 passes.
Nice.
He wants to go out with a win. I'm going to go with the Steelers as well. All right, and our next game, our beloved Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 6-point favorites. And this game, let's see. Joe Burrow's not going to play. He's going to rest for the playoffs.
Mayfield
Mixon placed on the reserve COVID list. CJ Uzama hasn't practiced this week. Evan McPherson was limited with a groin issue.
Oh, no, but kickers are the toughest.
Baker Mayfield is not going to play due to a shoulder issue. He's getting surgery. I think it's scheduled for next week. Kareem Hunt was limited with an ankle issue. Nick Chubb was limited with chest and rib injury. And David Njoku was out or did not practice yesterday with the shoulder issue. So
yeah,
both teams playing this game.
I mean, look for Samaje Perine to have a good game and look for maybe Chris Evans to step in and get some work. I mean, he might be a good cheap flex play in DFS for you, but
I think Perine, he's going to be a solid play. He last year in week 7 or week 16, he won a lot of people fantasy championships.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't know how much Bengals pass catchers are going to play. Does Jamar, T, and Boyd, do they play like one series? Do they play a quarter? I wouldn't be relying on any of them.
I feel like they might play I wouldn't rely on them. You can play them if you have to, but at the end of the day, I think you're going to have somebody out there for Allen who's going to be playing quarterback for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they still have Mike Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, but you still need some guys out there. So
who are you picking for this game?
The Browns have the Bengals number, it seems. I think the last 2 or 3 years, the Browns have just owned the Bengals, but
well, 2 years ago, I know the Bengals beat the Browns in Andy Dalton's last game as a Bengal.
Okay, so I still think that it's like a 4-2 or 3-2 in favor of the Browns.
It's something like that.
and I completely expect to be disappointed. The Bengals won the 2 games. They out of 3 games left of the season, they need to win 2. They won 2, Baltimore and Kansas City. But for some reason, my gut just says Bengals this game. I fully expect to be disappointed, but I'm going with Cincinnati. Hooday, baby.
My gut's telling me the Bengals too. So that just tells me I got to pick the Browns.
You love the Browns, and I did
call the Browns, but I did say I thought they were the best team. They just ran some bad luck this year.
And I did call it. I went back and I reviewed the film, and I did make a bold projection. And I think our 3rd podcast that we've ever done. And I said the Bengals will win the AFC North this year.
I think technically you made that twice because we had to record again because the audio didn't work.
I think so. So I've said it twice, and I've said it a million times. Well, not a million. I've said it a dozen times now. Bengals won the AFC North. Sorry. And
all right.
My brain.
Our next game, we had the Titans at the Texans. Julio Jones was limited from his hamstring injury. Good news though, Derrick Henry, he's been designated to return from the IR.
Nice, but he probably. I see what they're saying. He hasn't been up to game speed. They want to get his conditioning up a little bit. He may not play.
You're not playing him this week, even if he does play, because he's likely to be on a snap count. They want to see.
Oh, yeah. Well, fantasy managers know you're not playing him. But if I'm Tennessee's head coach, is it Vrabel?
Yeah.
Excuse me. If I'm Vrabel, I want to get him maybe 10 to 12 touches.
The good news for the Titans, they're going to know whether they have to win or not to maintain that first overall seed.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City plays them midday Saturday. If Kansas City wins, Tennessee has to win. Kansas City loses, Tennessee doesn't care.
Well, how about this? Tennessee and Kansas City both lose. Bengals win. Bengals number 1 overall seed.
I think Buffalo still has to win, or New England loses.
Okay, they can. Wait, what do you mean Buffalo has to win?
So based off of tiebreakers, if the Bengals win, and so if the Bengals, Buffalo, and New England win, they'll all have the same record. And Tennessee and Kansas City lose.
Okay.
And so based off of tiebreakers, Buffalo would be the division or their division champs, and Cincinnati would have the tiebreaker on all. I guess if New England wins the division, New England has a tiebreaker somehow.
I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Who cares? All right, moving on.
All right, well, who are you picking for this game? I'm picking the Titans as well.
We'll just make that pretty easy.
All right, our next game, we had the Saints at the Falcons. Traquan Smith was limited yesterday with a chest issue. Mark Ingram, who didn't play last week, which kind of surprised me. He was limited with the knee issue. And Kyle Pitts didn't practice with a hamstring issue. I did say Taysom Hill is one of my QB streamers. And I'm just going with this. He's playing the Falcons.
Yeah.
My question is, if you have Cordero Patterson, are you starting him this week?
I think you just have to in hopes of a high ceiling.
I don't think so. Like, he hasn't been getting the work.
That's the scary part. But when he's been hot this season, he's been hot.
He's been hot, but I don't think I'm trusting him this week.
That's fair. I mean, the Saints have a really, really good defense. I think that's why they're in the position that they are, because that offense is almost non-existent.
You know, I think Todd McShay or Mel Kiper, one of the two, they had Desmond Ridder mocked going to New Orleans.
I mean, he's a slinger. Sean Payton loves this guy.
That one could be interesting. Anyways, that's for a future talk. Who are you taking for this game?
I still think I'm taking the Saints, man.
I'm going with Who Dat Nation and the Saints.
Who Dat, baby.
Our next game, we had the Jets, the Bills. The Bills are currently 16-point favorites. The Bills are likely going to be a team that they are going to play their players because they could be the difference between hosting a playoff game or on the road.
And potential home field advantage through the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a
lot of stuff has to happen. We both know that, but it could happen.
But as for the Jets, Jamison Crowder, limited practice Wednesday. Michael Carter, though, he didn't practice Wednesday with a concussion issue. I don't think you're going to have Carter most likely this week.
Yeah,
And they don't have a reason to rush him back.
No, I mean, you're thinking about your future as a program, as a club, you know?
Unfortunately, one of the guys I mentioned as a waiver wire ad, Braxton Berrios, he didn't practice with yesterday with the quad issue. He's been going off, but the thing is, the Jets may also get Elijah Moore back as well as Crowder. Elijah Moore, they said he had a good workout on Monday, and he remains a candidate to play on Sunday.
Okay.
As for the Bills, Emmanuel Sanders, he didn't practice Wednesday with the knee issue. That's good news for Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
If I'm the Bills, you're starting Singletary, you're starting Allen, Diggs, and probably Gabe Davis.
Yeah. I mean, why not? And Isaiah McKenzie could be a flyer there too. He didn't really do much last week. I think it was a one-time.
With Beasley back, I think he's out of the question. He doesn't get the targets with Beasley there. When Beasley's not, he is a solid play. So who are you taking for this game?
I think I got to go with the Bills, man. But these Jets have been playing people tough lately. Zach Wilson's not as rookie-ish as he has looked earlier this season.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to look better.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's the quarterback the Jets need for their future. But I'm still taking the Bills this week.
I am going to go with the Bills as well. All right, our next game, we had the 49ers at the Rams. The Rams are 4.5-point favorites. I think the Rams are playing to increase their seating position. And the 49ers, they're playing to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, this could be a good game. You're going to want to play the studs from this game. They're going to have to play.
Unfortunately, keep an eye on the practice report. Elijah Mitchell didn't practice on Wednesday, but if he's going Sunday, I think you're running him out there because he actually, I think, is a top 12, 15 running back consistently.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, he's been limited both yesterday and today. So keep an eye on it. Trey Lance would be starting if Garoppolo doesn't play. As for these Rams receivers, though, they've got a pretty good matchup. The 49ers on the perimeter, they've allowed the third most fantasy points to receivers over the past 8 weeks and the fifth most overall the past month. So that means Van Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., they could be in for a big game this week. Plus, I think Vegas has Cooper Kupp's wide receiver line at like 112 yards. I think he needs 150 to break the receiving yard record on the year. And I really think they're going to hyper target Kupp and try to get him that record.
Yeah, probably. So you're definitely playing Kupp if you can. And if you can afford him in DFS, go ahead, throw him in there.
I tried to get both him and Jonathan Taylor.
That's just really expensive.
It is. Anyways, who are you taking for this game?
Initially I thought Rams, but with the 49ers, they play better on the road, it seems like. I think the 49ers are going to take this, man. I think playing for a playoff spot, the Rams really, they've been eking out wins the last 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on. Matthew Stafford's thrown multiple interceptions in I think the last 3 games, at least 2 or 3 interceptions a game for the last 3 games. This offense can take advantage of it. I think the 49ers, very, very slim margin, but 49ers eke one out here.
I'm going with the 49ers as well. For some reason, I've been kind of enjoying this 49ers team, even though I shouldn't because they beat the Bengals twice in the Super Bowl. But
yeah, that's all bygones. We weren't even alive yet.
Yeah. Well, for one we were, but we aren't old enough to remember it. I'm going with the 49ers as well. Our next game, we had the Patriots of the Dolphins. The Patriots are currently 6.5-point favorites. Nelson Aguilar was limited yesterday with a concussion issue. Jacoby Myers was limited with a thigh. And Damian Harris was limited with his hamstring issue. But my question to you, Ryan, which Patriots running back would you consider starting?
Ramondre Stevenson's been the most most available, I guess, the least injured of all the running backs. I mean, Harris gets the touchdowns, but Ramondre Stevenson,
I think Harris gets the first go at everything. I think he's their number one right now.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, he's just been hurt all season long. Is how much are they gonna baby him and milk him this year?
It'll be interesting for next year to see, because the Patriots, they're not necessarily loyal to running back. So
No.
I don't know if Harris's contract's close to up, but we could see more of Stevenson next year, I think.
Quite possibly.
So, anyways, as for the Dolphins, I would expect a down game from Waddle, because he's definitely their number one, and the Patriots are really good at taking away that number one receiving option.
I think it's J.C. Jackson is probably gonna.
J.C. Jackson, from what I was saying, if he's gonna shadow, it's gonna be likely Parker, because Waddle winds up out the slot more often.
Okay, that's fair.
But they do scheme well to take care of that number one.
Yeah, they do.
So you said you're taking the Patriots for this game?
Yeah. Hey, quick thing. I bought into a sports card break last night, and it was 8 boxes of 2021 Illusions football. 8 boxes, 50 cards a box. So 8 times 50, 400 cards, right? There were four in these 8 boxes, 4 Jalen Waddle, Jarvis Landry, Miami Dolphins dual memorabilia cards. So it was like Jalen Waddle, like of a jersey that he worn somewhere, and Jarvis Landry when he was a Dolphin jersey worn somewhere. So whoever won the Dolphins or paid for the Dolphins in that break, man, they got 4 of those cards. I just thought it was funny, and I know you like Waddle, and then he waddled away.
Well, with that, I'm going to take Mac Jones and the Patriots, and
Same.
Then he waddled away, waddle, till the very next day.
And not Jalen Waddle and the Dolphins.
Unfortunately, even though I really like that sound clip.
That video is just the most. No, I'm not even gonna say the most ridiculous thing, but
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Our next game, we had the Seahawks at the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 6.5 point favorites in this game. DK Metcalf
should be.
DK Metcalf has been limited with a foot issue. As for the Cardinals, Rondale Moore is limited with an ankle injury, and both of their running backs are beat up. Chase Edmonds didn't practice yesterday with a rib and a toe issue, or toe rib. James Conner, he practiced yesterday and limited. If one of these two guys are out, I think I'd be willing to start the other one. But if they're both there, I might avoid it.
I'm surprised Benjamin isn't getting more work. I mean, you would think you want to rest up your guys. I know on that 3-game skid the Cardinals had there for a little bit, they needed wins. They needed something bad. But
I think the Cardinals are still playing for the first in their division. So
yeah, they need to win, and they need the Rams to lose.
Yep. As for the Cardinals, though, they've allowed the 6th most fantasy points to receivers this season, and it's been worse as of late. They've surrendered the most overall, 2nd most to the perimeter, and the 4th most to the slot last month. So this could be a big game for Metcalf and Lockett. And Russell Wilson, he's starting to look like Russell Wilson again.
Yeah, I think his finger's starting to get healthy.
Not only that, he's kind of auditioning, because this could be his last game in Seattle. He's like, hey, trade for me.
Okay, hear me out. Quarterback situation carousel. Baker goes to Pittsburgh.
Oh, God.
John Watson goes to Seattle. Aaron Rodgers stay puts in Green Bay. Russell Wilson comes down to Houston and just a 1v1 trade. And the Washington football team, well, I don't really know.
Well, what about Denver, New Orleans?
I don't know, man. I haven't.
It's going to be interesting. Because we could see maybe Marcus Mariota get another shot, Mitchell Trubisky get another shot. Because we mentioned it, there's no huge standout in this rookie class. But anyways, more talk for later on.
Well, Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral are pretty solid.
Yeah, but there's not real standouts still.
You're right. They just stand out from the other
So from here, who's your pick for this game?
I'm going to go with the Cardinals, even though they kind of suck at home. I just think this is a get right. I mean, they won last week against Dallas, and I called that game. I think the week before that, I actually picked against the Cardinals, and they lost. But anyway, I think the Cardinals they're on the right track again, and I think they carry that into the playoffs.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals as well. Kyler Murray started to look good. So
yeah, they're starting to get Murray's legs back involved into the game. I think last year, if he had over 60 yards rushing a game, they were undefeated.
I don't know.
And then they were like 500 if he was under 60 yards rushing. And they're starting to get him some rushing yards again. I think he had like 56 last week. So he's right around that threshold of where they need to be with him running the ball.
All right, our next game, we had the Panthers at the Bucks. The Bucks were 8-point favorites at home. Robbie Anderson hasn't practiced this week with a quad issue. Terrence Marshall Jr. was placed on the IR. Mike Evans was limited yesterday with a hamstring issue. Ronald Jones is in a boot, though. They will have him try to run later this week, so keep an eye on that. But the interesting person here, Giovanni Bernard, he could return from the IR before Sunday's game. And if he plays, I think they use him more than Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah, possibly.
I think he has Brady's trust because as Bengals fans, we know he can pass block. He can catch the ball.
We know he can catch it. Yeah,
So,
I mean, Giovanni's a good player. I miss him, but I mean, every good thing comes to an end. So,
and the whole saga with Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown's come out saying that he was refusing to play because he's hurt. Bruce Arians saying that, and he actually had a press conference today saying that Antonio Brown was refusing to play because he wasn't getting enough targets. And this comes, I think, 2 weeks after Antonio Brown asked and his agent asked the Bucks to fully guarantee the $2 million instead of making them earn it. So this whole thing's crazy, but Antonio Brown has finally been cut.
Yeah, he's been cut.
He's on the waiver wire, and I'm pretty sure he'll pass through that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to take a chance on him this year.
In this game, though, Mike Evans, he's likely going to be shadowed by Stephon Gilmore. And Gilmore is a very good cornerback. So you could see a rough game for Gilmore. This part of the reason why I went with Cameron Brayton or DFS is because this could be a big game for the tight ends for the Buccaneers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And we know Brady loves Gronk and he loves his tight ends. I think Brady had a touchdown last week, maybe. And maybe Adam Bates or somebody like that. And Gronk had a pretty good game too.
I think who was it? Jalen Darden?
Yes, the rookie.
The practice squad receiver. Yeah, he could have another game. He's likely to be called up again, I think. Who are you taking in this game?
Still gonna take the Bucks.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well. I'm not starting any Carolina players, including DJ Moore. Bucks players, I'd start pretty much anybody but the running back.
Did we skip Washington football team and the Giants?
We must have.
Because I don't remember picking them. But I'm taking the football team. Ricky Seals didn't practice.
Yeah, Ricky Seals-Jones, he hasn't practiced with a concussion issue. For the longest time, I had Jesse Bates, their third string tight end, in my DFS lineup.
How's that working for you?
It wasn't going to be bad. I just felt like there was more option with Brait. And Antonio Gibson, good news. He was limited Wednesday. I think he is going to play.
Hi, baby girl. Sky just decided to show up. And
I am going to take the Washington football team as well. I'm not trusting the Giants, no matter who you have on their team.
Did you take the Bucks or the Panthers, by the way?
I took the Bucks.
I am sorry. I am so scatterbrained right now.
It's all good. Well, we'll go to our last game. What is most likely a win and you're in?
For both teams.
Yep. Chargers versus the Raiders. Chargers are 3-point favorites.
On the road, huh?
Yep. Wow. It's not that far for either team.
Wow.
Josh Jacobs, he's limited yesterday with the rib issue. Good news, though, for the Raiders. Darren Waller, they've activated from the reserve COVID list, and I think they're planning on him to play this week. And then some good news. Derek Carrier has been designated to return from the IR from his pec injury.
Finally, bro.
Not that it's fantasy related, really. I just wanted to put this out there because Ryan played with Carrier.
Yeah, I played in college with Carrier. D3 Beloit College. BELOIT. Little Division III program.
But this is a game. I'm pretty sure I would start just about anybody I have in it because,
look, dude.
like I said, when you play the Raiders, you tend to have better offensive output.
Yeah, but think about this. This is Carrier's 10th season in the league.
Wow.
Because I graduated in 2011. Well, I guess it would be his 9th because I graduated 2011. So he graduated 2012 and was drafted, rookie free agent, signed in 2012.
Undrafted free agent.
Undrafted free agent. Yeah, sorry. My bad. But yeah, man, 9th season, going on double digits next year.
Hey, I mean, he's made a career out of just being like a special teams guy. And sometimes it's not the worst thing.
Hey, and a couple years ago, he caught the game-winning touchdown pass to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pretty cool.
All right. Well, like I said, I'd start just about anybody in this game that I normally would. I Renfro, Zay Jones is a solid option here because, like I said, when you play the Chargers, it always tends to come out to be a shootout, it seems.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I think Derek Carr is trying to prove and make a statement. I think
he's actually another person that it's rumored that could be in that quarterback carousel that the Raiders could move on from him next year.
Well, let me ask you this. In a dynasty league, if somebody put Derek Carr in a super flex league on the block, would you potentially offer up Alvin Kamara in hopes of getting Derek Carr and maybe a 2023 first?
I don't know if I'm the person putting up Carr that I would accept that because quarterbacks are a hot commodity in Superflex.
Yeah, they are. And he was the number 15 overall pick this season. He's been the number 15 best.
And it's I know you're the team you're talking about. I don't know. I don't think I would.
I mean, you're getting Alvin Kamara, dog.
You are. But so you said you're looking for Carr in a first?
Yep.
I don't think that would happen.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyways, for this game, I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers. What about you?
I'm taking the Raiders.
Okay.
Sky just got all excited. Her tail started wagging.
For some reason, even though like a couple years ago, the Bengals were beat by the Chargers in the playoffs, I've always kind of liked the Chargers for some reason. I know no reason behind it. It's just always someone I've enjoyed watching. Anyways, that takes care of our Week 10 preview. Or not?
It's kind of like Week 18.
Yep, Week 18.
But it's kind of like my cousin Will. He lives up there in the Northeast, Rhode Island, but he's from Massachusetts and he's a huge Patriots fan and he hates the Bills. And anytime he starts talking about Josh Allen and the Bills and hating on them, it's like I kind of gotta respect Bills Mafia.
Oh yeah, we talked about this one earlier in the year.
Yeah, I mean a few seasons ago, the Bengals beat somebody and it got the Bills into the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years or something.
I think it was the Steelers.
Yeah, it may have
been. The crazy thing about the Steelers is Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record.
He might not. I don't think he can this year.
He can't.
7-1 right now.
Yeah. And I think he needs 2 more seasons of this, and he breaks the record for consecutive years with a winning record as a coach.
That's crazy, but a non-losing record.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
once or twice.
I think it was Andy Dalton's last year with the Bengals, and Bengals beat somebody. Bills get into the playoffs, and then the Bills Mafia donated a boatload of money to Andy Dalton's charity. So
yep,
kind of like, man, that's mad respect for him, man.
Yeah, and there's some of the most passionate fans out there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
passionate equals dumb sometimes.
That concludes our Week 18 preview. Our plan going forward, Monday, hopefully Ryan and I will be we might do it over Zoom just because I get off at 7. And it just makes things a little easier right now.
Yeah.
We plan on doing a Week 18 recap. And then after that, we're going to take time off. We plan on coming back after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Our first our first podcast after the Super Bowl, we were talking, we may do a early rookie draft, like mock draft. And then after that, we're going to start breaking down rookies to get you ready for the rookie mock draft, rookie drafts.
Yeah, for dynasties.
Which I'm actually kind of enjoying this. I've gone through 8 players already. It takes maybe about 30 minutes so far per player for me.
Are you doing Dynasty Nerds?
Yeah, I'm using the Dynasty Nerds film room because that's what I have access to.
I thought about maybe we could take some turns and I could stream on Twitch or whatever how I'm taking my notes and talking through like what I'm seeing while watching film. Maybe.
So
idea.
That could be solid if we wanted to show the film. But I do know if we show the film, because I know the Dynasty Nerds, they stream like film and they talk about it. Those I know, well, we're not really going to get monetized, but I'm not sure I really want to risk that with the NFL possibly shutting us down.
I mean, I can just do Google, just do some or YouTube highlights, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see, and we'll talk about that. But anyways,
yeah, see
so
Monday.
after the Super Bowl in February, that's our plan. So we got one more podcast next week, and then we're going to take some time off until after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Anyways, please like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like
YouTube.
and subscribe on YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcasts,
Spotify. Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on. Good luck in your Week 18 championship, and we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.
You got me running.